the salaries at the starting in port sector will be lower, maybe much lower than what you get in ship management. So for a master chief officer, it could be.
Hi everyone, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di. Welcome to my YouTube channel Merchant Navy Decoded. Another video on ship to shore with Captain Gaurav Rana, and we'll be talking about those deck officers today, those who are looking for transition from ship to shore, and they are not looking for core shipping. So one such option is port operations. So Gaurav Rana ji, please पहली बात तो welcome sir. थोड़ा guide कीजिए how to guide these youngsters for port operations and where
Yeah,
can they join.
sure. Thanks for having me, Praneeth. And once again, a lot of persons don't want to get into the typical shipping things. They want to do something else. And port operations is a fairly good field, a very emerging, and where the growth will be tremendous in the coming years, right? For deck officers or all the way to masters, there are enough and more opportunity within port operations. Now, what would a person do within port operations? So essentially, use the skills which they have already gained in terms of liaising with various stakeholders around. B, use the cargo operations knowledge which they have either as a cargo watch officer or as a chief officer or master. And C, possibly, get into a managerial level directly as well, depending on the designation that you would have, right? And I'll also just take a few minutes on the cargoes, on the opportunities with reference to various kind of cargoes you would have handled, right? So tanker persons, they are in utmost demand in a ship management company, but the demand in port operations is the least. The reason being that all the cargo, I mean, there is fair amount of automation, right? So cargo goes through pipeline. Once in the pipeline, someone has to see in the tank it's gone safely, smoothly, right? Whereas in bulk or container, the opportunities in ship management space are limited for persons with that background. But within port operations, the opportunities will probably be much higher, right? Because of course it's when you are handling bulk or container, you need it's just that more tedious operation, and you need enough and more persons around it, right? So you could get into a stevedoring company, you could get into an agency company, you could get into a port operations company by themselves, or you could get into a liner company as well, which is who look for officers as such. So there are different levels that you could get into. You could get into a port captain or an assistant port captain. You could get into a agency manager. So agency, you typically start as a branch manager, or you could get into a CFS or an ICD manager as well. And if you have a container background. One more upcoming field which I forgot to mention is if you're from a gas background. So those are the terminals which are actually the rate of increase is very high. So you can easily get into if you have a LNG, LPG background, you can get into that space. Petronet LNG is one such company, a government company which hires a lot of tech officers to stay at their facilities in the ports all around India, be it Kochi, be it Dahej, be it Mangalore, various, and of course in their corporate office in Delhi as well. Adani, of course, is always there. So these are the opportunities which you would typically have as a deck officer to get into the port side of things.
Okay, so my one question that comes to my mind is that what kind of salaries when somebody is switching over can expect at the rank of a chief officer or captain, and also at the rank of second officer, third officer? First question. Second question is where can they see themselves once they join after 5 years, 7 years? Like how is the promotion? What are the ranks that they'll go up to? Can you share some insight on this?
It's a very good question, Praneeth. And this is something which we always try to tell persons when there are such jobs coming through. the salaries at the starting in port sector will be lower, maybe much lower than what you get in ship management. So for a master chief officer, it could be 25, maybe 28. For a master, around 25, 28. For a chief officer, 22 to 25. In LNG and private, it will be higher. It could go to 30, 32 as well. But in a LNG in Petronet, it is fairly less, but you get other benefits as well.
This is lakhs per annum.
This is lakhs per annum. Yes, this is lakhs per annum. As a junior officer, it could start at around maybe around 10, 12 lakhs, but then and it could go all the way till 17, 18 lakhs as well, depending on the cargo, depending on private, government, and various other factors, right? But the beauty of this is that even you start at a lesser salary, the growth in terms of not just remuneration, but in terms of learning is fairly steep, right? So, first of all, in terms of learning, you may not know a lot about what is happening over here. So, I mean, and it will always be a learning process. In ship management, various roles, sometimes it gets a little stagnant. Sometimes the monotony kicks in, and you're doing the same thing again and again and again. But over here in the ports operation side, it'll be a new ship, a new handling, a new situation, plus the growth. So you start as a manager or an assistant manager, depending on what you were before. Then you become, say, AGM, DGM, GM, assistant vice president, COO, CEO, president. I personally know master mariners who are CEOs, presidents in various fairly very big companies. For example, DP World, yeah, it's a very big company. PSA, Adani. The person who is honestly second to Karan Adani is a very senior master mariner. At one point of time, the CEO of Adani Port was a master mariner. So the growth and sky is the limit, honestly, over here.
So, if just one question, and I do not know whether you'll be able to answer this in a good way or not. And sorry, I'll repeat this thing again. So, one more question that comes: can we say that for deck officers, port operations have got better opportunities compared to engine officers? It is same for both of them.
No, for deck officers, it will be better opportunities. The main reason, cargo operations, because engineers don't have that
much
exposure. But on the port side, maintenance side, right? Port has a similar, machineries which we use on ship. So on that side of things, it will not call as port operations. It will probably be maintenance. Within the maintenance domain, marine engineers have a fair amount of upside.
Okay. So thank you very much for all the insights, sir. I really appreciate that. And if you've got any queries, please mention in the comment section, and we will forward those queries to Captain Rana and get you the right answers. Take care. Bye. Hi, if you are a marine engineer or a deck officer who is looking to quit sailing, I think so this video has been of some help. And if you want all details of how to successfully transition from ship to shore for deck side or for engine side, then we have made this complete course free of cost, informative course for you guys on Merchant Navy Decoded. The link is in the description box as well as in the pinned comment. So if you're a marine engineer, you have a different section, different course, and if you're a deck officer, there's a different course for you for successfully transitioning from ship to shore. So please go ahead, do that course, get all the information. If you've got any query, contact Team Merchant Navy Decoded. We will help you, guide you to make welcome changes and become successful. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di.